it's just, there's nothing I can guarantee there based on what will actually be allowed with restrictions. But yeah, the good thing with all virtual is it means that it's just, you don't need to show up anywhere. It's easier, there's lower barriers to entry, and everything you can catch up on in your own time if you are to miss anything as well. If you're already embedded in the startup community and just looking for networking and mentorship opportunities, is it still worth applying to the fellowship? Yeah, I mean, like, I think the real value in this is the networking and the mentorship. The way that we open doors for you, and you know, I think the companies that are sponsored, the companies that are involved with it, the places where fellows go afterwards, that's really what the fellowship is. It's about the network. We wouldn't say we're an education program. You're not going to learn how to be the best product manager in the world by coming to us. It's more around the network that we have. That's where the power is. Also, if you already are in the startup community, I think, yeah, the mentorship piece is interesting too. That kind of leans on the networking piece as well. And who knows, I think that it could be that you end up figuring out what you want to do instead. Yeah. What is the purpose of the 10 by 10 interview roulette? Yeah, love that. It's actually just a lot of fun. So it's you'll meet 10 leaders in the startup world, and so you're, in a way, through the interview process, you're getting to build a bit of a network through that. So you meet 10 people, and you can go away, and even if you don't get into the fellowship, you've kind of had that exposure. It's also really high energy and fun. So it's almost, think of it like a bit of like speed dating. And it's just, and it just also helps to collate a really fair outcome. So we collate 10 scores and 10 data points that really help us and drill down to, like, this is why we've selected these fellows to be offered a place. Before COVID, there was a San Francisco part of the trip. Will this be integrated virtually somehow as part of the next cohort? Yeah, so historically we have done a San Francisco trip. Again, back to being virtual versus online, I don't see that happening with this cohort. What we've said to the past cohort is, when we eventually do it, everybody is invited and like encouraged to come. We just don't know when that is. But what we do in place is we do run a virtual San Francisco week. So I imagine it would probably look a little bit like Liminal, and that we get a lot of speakers in from San Francisco to run a bit of a week like this, that's a little bit more intensive. So we will do something to make up for it, but of course it doesn't replace the full magic of going. But when we can go, we would open up the invitation for you to come and join us for sure. How do you choose who will gain a scholarship, and how many scholarships are available? Great. So really, a scholarship is for those that are facing financial hardship. So we don't want the $1,000 fee to be prohibitive to you applying. So if you can't afford it, you were made redundant, anything like that, there's just a pretty simple question in the box when you apply to write that in. And then with the companies that are coming on board to sponsor it, they are paying your fee. So we were getting in 10 companies to sponsor, and so from that we'll get 30 places that are available out of the 100 to be sponsored. So if you fit into that bucket, definitely I'd like to offer that to you. 100 fellows this year will naturally dilute the individualized nature of the program. How do you aim to combat this? Amazing. Like, this is what keeps me up at night, and I love it. So this is where the coach model comes in. This is new to the program. Before we had partners, so like a partner would look after 5 or 6 fellows. Now it's either one-on-one or 1-to-2. Instead of, so partners before were usually like kind of in a VC fund, but not really operators. Now it's all operators. And so, and at leadership level, these are the people that are actually hiring. And so because you will, like, you're going to be paired, as I said, with someone who functionally want to kind of go down their path, you're going to be then kind of buddied up with fellows also wanting to go into that function. And then your peer group of coaches also in that function as well. Buddy systems, I think we'll start it off with like based on location, so that where you can meet in person, we can help facilitate that. Then there'll be different streams for functions, and then there'll be streams for also people that are still figuring that out. And also the way that we can meet through fellow roulettes, just the whole, yeah, the coaches are going to help with that. The way that we also help set you up for success as well. So what is your role to play? How do you get the most out of it? But absolutely, I do not want to lose that magic. I want you to feel that you are part of an intimate community, and it's just about breaking it down. I mean, 100 is 4 groups of 25. We've done 25 before, and so replicating that at scale, I've got far more people into support in the coach side. We've had far more time to kind of like think this all through. We've got sponsors on board, which just helps with the infrastructure and headcount of the team to help like actually make this happen. And so I am so committed to making it feel that way still, because that's where the magic absolutely comes from. The type form seemed quite pivotal, questions asked, and like we should spend more time on the recommended 10 minutes. Does this step eliminate candidates? So, okay, good feedback that it takes more than 10 minutes. It is, I think the main things that we're vetting for there are, like, have you actually thought about why you want to do this? And is now the time? So are you ready to make a leap in the next 3 months? Great. If you're actually saying, I just kind of want to just show up and I probably don't want to leave, then it's not going to be quite right for you. So it's more around like making sure expectations are aligned. And really, I want to invite as many people as possible to the next stage, which is actually more important, which is the applied one that I talked about, where you answer the 4 questions. This is more just like, have you met the baseline criteria? You're a woman, you're looking to make a move in the next 3 months or so. Young women or experienced women, or both. And this is also the magic. Like last cohort, we've had people that are kind of fairly straight out of university through to, we had someone who had an international career, had 3 kids, moved back to Australia, had no network, and wanted to build that out. She's now landed an EA role at Atlassian, which is awesome. And the magic is around like the diversity of everyone's experience. And so we talk about with the accelerator, founders helping founders. Again, the magic is around fellows helping fellows. And so where you have people from different ranges of experience, it's just amazing to be in and amongst people that are straight out of uni through to looking for C-level roles. Do you offer domain-specific streams, i.e. health tech, ad tech, fintech? Yeah, so also on the coach side, I'm collecting around like industry expertise, because I think like sometimes you've got to think about like sort of vertical and horizontal, like the functional expertise, and then like industries. And so I'm going to try and match people up based on both of those things. But I understand as well a lot of fellows don't know, and so where I can kind of pair them with more generalized skill sets, that will be sort of that matching process there. Is the program specific to careers in tech, or is it open to applicants in the social and environmental entrepreneurial sector too? Yeah, I mean, yes, anything in entrepreneurial startup space. I would say our network is predominantly in the tech space, but we also do, so last time we had someone from Impact Investment Group involved in that portfolio of companies. And for sure, I think like a lot of the skills translate across those 2 places as well. So anything sort of entrepreneurial startup-esque, that's kind of what this is about versus like tech. It says that background doesn't matter, but I keep hearing alumni from PwC, McKinsey, lawyers, deep tech. I'm more of a dropout. Can you share some examples of such backgrounds? Trying to think of specific examples. I mean, we've had people that haven't gone to university, they've been a founder, they've then tried to like figure out what they want to do. Like this again, I actually love this. Like you didn't do university, it wasn't right for you, it's about finding your home. And really, again, it goes back to those things that we're testing for. Like, can you create opportunities for yourself? Do you have that drive, that that hunger and that passion. I think that, and I appreciate the feedback that the kind of focus has been on like PwC, McKinsey, and sort of that space. I love that. Like the dropout type is exactly where we want to help. I've also done, and I'm not sure if this is what you're asking, but I've also done a lot of work of tapping into definitely like all the run from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, how can we support them while through the fellowship, and just kind of creating a pathway for those people. So we're also in touch with Generation Australia, which is it's a not-for-profit that it's mostly like international people that have come over, and they're just they've been, say they got a degree in India and they've come over, and it's not, no one's kind of picking them up or translating them. It's really around helping them to find jobs. So yeah, long story short to answer, please do apply. Like I'd love to have someone like you on the program. I think that would, yeah, it would be great. How many applicants are accepted into the program? We have 100 spaces available. My commitment is around quality. So if we can get 100 high quality fellows, amazing. If there's 120 amazing high quality fellows, like hell yeah. But yeah, let's see where we go, but we're not totally stuck on a number here. You mentioned this is part-time, which is good for those that are currently working full-time. How this will be structured over the 2 months. Cool. So if you are currently working full-time, we run sessions either breakfast time like we did at Liminal, or like after work time, so like 6 till 7. So that's kind of baseline programming. The first half of the first month is really around broadening your horizons. So exposure to all the different functions, exposure to like Startup 101, you're meeting with your coach, you're kind of getting your head around the way that we communicate in startups, the way that we, like how you start to build a network. And then month 2 is far more pointy around like, let's actually get those introductions into your dream job. If you are working part-time or like not at all, so you've been made redundant, you can actually scale the program up. So we line up a bunch of internship opportunities that you can take to supplement the program as well. So you can, you know, like last time we had people that had 2 or 3 internships on the go whilst doing the program, and so they essentially ended up working full-time through us, and that was great because a lot of them ended up taking on full-time roles with them afterwards. Hope that answered your question. If I'm successful in my application to the fellowship, what are some ways I can continue to network with others and gain experience with startups? Great question. I think it's things like Liminal. It's, you know, once you've been signed up to our mailing list, like invites to events, content that we share. I also want to open source a lot of the content that we've created around like the Startup 101 stuff and what all the functions are. And here's a map of the ecosystem. And this is how, like, this is all the job boards. This is like your one-stop shop. You'll actually see a lot of that on the application portal. So that's even like a great resource to start and always refer back to. Yeah, but good luck with your application. And yeah. Do you have any advice on how to make your application stand out if you haven't had, sorry, jumping around. Do you have any advice on how to make your application stand out if you haven't had much previous experience with startups? I think I answered that one. Basically, don't worry about it. Show me your hunger, hustle, drive, and why. I understand Startmate takes a 10K recruitment fee if we join a startup via referral. In this case, will we be refunded the 1K program fee to the participant? No. So that is you paying your fee. So this is you then getting the program. The 10K fee again goes to covering our costs. Like we need to be financially and operationally sustainable. And also from a startup side, it's almost that is nominal to them versus a typical recruitment fee. For those that sponsor the program, the win for them is that they don't pay a recruitment fee. but they're kind of two separate things. Your fee is for you attending a program and getting all of the content and network and job opportunities from it, and that personal coaching as well. You mentioned Academy XI, this companies teach hard skills. Is that going to be teaching any hard skills as well? Yeah, so I'm actually in talks with Academy XI, and what they're going to do is either they will run, if there's demand for like 20 fellows to go do product management, they will run Academy XI a product course for just the fellows at a reduced fee. So just working through that partnership. So we will be offering it because they're a better place to teach that educational content. So that will be again on offer as we go. If you applied for Startmate before and got to the interview but were unsuccessful, is there a benefit reapplying? Would you call out that you've applied before? Yeah, definitely call out that you've applied before. Again, that just shows that you do really want to do this, and it goes back to the point around like hunger, drive, and passion for this. So, yeah, and also feel free to reach out to me around whether you got specific feedback last time, and I can try and help you out there. Can I choose the startup I like, or do you allocate us? How do you allocate? How do you know who to allocate to which startup? I think you mean in terms of coaches. So I've talked about this before. We match you based on basically what function or what industry you want to go into. If you're talking about like what startup and what like job, that's like we show you the opportunities and we'll make introductions, but that's on you to choose where you want to have a job and where you want to intern. We don't force that upon you. So really, I'm going to put a lot of time and effort into matching you with the right coach. Yeah. If you get into the program, how many hours? If you get into the program, how many hours do you recommend spending per week focusing on the content workshops to get the most out of it? So actual contact hours will probably be 2 to 3 max a week, and then there'll be stuff on top of that if you want to. So I guess I think I want to be conscious of people working full time. You can actually catch up on sessions too, but if you want to get the most out of it, it's around like, how do you keep in touch with other fellows? So like getting to know one another, getting to know your coach as well. So catch up with them. This is all going to be on a new Slack channel as well. So we're going to call it the Operator Network. That's where all the coaches and all the fellows will live. And so there's just a really easy way for you to communicate. I can't put a specific hour time on what that looks like each week. Yeah, I can't put that on. I'll have a think about that and send that round. Can you share color on the 4 questions that will be asked during the apply stage? Yes, I can. So number 1, hunger. So clear thinking on how the fellowship will help you to achieve your goals. Number 2, your love for startups. So like you've done your research, why startups are interesting and this world is interesting to you. Number 3, hustle. So demonstrate your ability to take the initiative and create your own opportunities. And then also creative problem solving and curiosity. So that's the 4 questions and what will be asked. $1,000 is quite steep, especially during a rough time. Can it guarantee employment into a startup? Thanks. So $1,000. So if it is steep for you, you can apply for a scholarship in which we waive your fee completely. If you think about it, it's a 2-month program. A lot of, I've said this earlier, but a lot of courses that are like a day, 3 days, 6 weeks are like close towards 3-5 grand. So for yourself, apply for a scholarship. In terms of guaranteeing employment, we can't guarantee the employment. So we open the doors. It's then for you to interview and to land the job, but we set you up for success. So we help you with interview prep, we help with career coaching, we open doors to make introductions to get you in the door and network and put your best self forward, but it's on you to land that job. So that's not for us to guarantee. Sorry, I'm realizing I'm going over time. I'm going to answer one more and then I'm going to go through the rest and try and follow up via email written form. In a cohort of 100, do you expect there'll be a lot of competition for jobs at the end of the program? Yeah, great question. And this is again why I'm bringing in the coaches. Coaches are hiring managers, and they're looking to build their team. So when I'm recruiting in coaches, are you a hiring manager and are you looking to build your team? Yes and yes. Cool. So already we know that there's going to be opportunities. Part of the outreach as well this time has been around getting in more companies across it. They're all on board. They know that the fellowship is a go-to source of talent. So sure, there will be competition, but I think it just feels like there's more competition because you almost know who your competition is. But in reality, all those people in the periphery are applying for those jobs as well. We just hope to help you get your foot in the door and help to expedite that process. Cool, I'm going over time. I'm loving all these questions and I hope they've been helpful. I'm gonna, as I said, I'll go through these. If there's something that's like glaringly obvious that I haven't answered, I'm gonna fill it in the follow up. As well, email me, ask me anything. I really wanna encourage you to apply, encourage you to kind of feel that you can ask me anything. I'm here to support you on your journey. I'm super passionate about getting as many talented women into this program and for them to really find their home in a startup, surrounded by people that just get them. They feel pushed, they feel excited to do their best work. So apply. You're all amazing, and I will follow up with you all. Have a good weekend. See you. Bye.